Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, it's just a good proper review. I want to be serious.
This is important.
We're talking about Joe Dante.
Serious.
I better be very serious.
Well, Rich, several years ago, we embarked on an epic journey to watch and rank every John Carpenter film, and we're back for a not quite as epic journey into the world of Joe Dante films, but equally diverse.
It's pretty diverse. I don't know that it's quite as diverse as John Carpenter's work. There's a line running through most of Joe Dante's movies.
That is true. We'll get into some of his reoccurring things as we go along.
I was shocked by how much of a recurring thing there was.
But I think some people might be asking, because David Lynch passed away earlier this year, and there may be people saying like, hey, David, you love David Lynch, Jay. Why aren't you doing a ranking of every David Lynch film? And my answer to that is because every one of them would be tied for number one.
Aww.
Except for Dune.
It's funny, you think I would like Dune. You know, sci-fi epic. I could never sit through Dune.
Well, Dune was a troubled production. Nobody's happy with Dune, especially David Lynch.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about David Lynch. We're here to talk about someone else who has also had frequent troubled productions, Joe Dante. We watched and ranked every Joe Dante film, not including co-directing movies and anthologies.
Yes.
Because he's done several of both.
Now, there might be an asterisk here because we talked about it. Did you rank Twilight Zone?
I did not.
Okay.
If I were to add it to my ranking, it would be very near the top of the list.
Like top three.
It's really one of the best things he's ever done.
Yes. And here's, I read a little bit about this because, after I watched it, he had very little interference on that because everyone was just so fucking distracted by the other thing that happened with that movie. It was like, they kind of just left him alone. Just do what you want. We're going to shovel this movie out there, just make something.
Well, that'll be a running theme too, is when Joe Dante is allowed to just make a Joe Dante movie, that's when you get the best results.
Now, was that civilized? No, clearly not. Fun, but in no sense civilized.
But I think what spurred on the idea of doing this review, Joe Dante was in the news recently. In June or July of this year, Prop Store, who we got our amazing Gremlin props from, he was working with Prop Store to sell some things, to auction some things off from his personal collection, including one of the few existing Rosebud sleds from Citizen Kane. He owned one, and he sold it for $14.7 million.
Wow.
Yes, it's the second most expensive movie prop in existence. The most expensive is...
I guess that makes sense.
It's Rosebud.
It's Citizen Kane and it's Rosebud.
Yeah, the most expensive is the ruby slippers from Wizard of Oz, which is also not surprising.
The more interesting thing to me is that, that's the prop he had.
Well, here's the crazy backstory that I discovered to this. He's had it since the 80s. There's, I think, 4 existing, because they built several for production. Some of them were made of balsa wood, because the famous ending of the movie, they throw it in the fire and it burns up.
Yeah.
So they made some out of balsa wood so they'd burn up easier. I think they made 3 of those. They burned 2 of them. 1 still exists. That one's owned by Spielberg. And then there's 2 other ones. There's a pine one, which is like early when you see the little kid, Charles Foster Kane, riding his sled. That's like the real heavy-duty sled, and they built a few of those. So someone owns one of them, and then Joe Dante owns the other, or did own the other. Now he's auctioned it. But the story is, he was in the 80s. Joe Dante was on the Paramount lot making Explorers, and he's leaving the lot one night, and he sees a bunch of guys hucking junk into a pile by one of the exit gates with the intention of throwing all this stuff out. They were just clearing out some of their old stuff, some of their old props and things that have just been taking up space. And Joe Dante wanders over because he's a big movie fan. So out of curiosity, what kind of junk could be in this pile? In that pile was the Rosebud sled, and one of the workers said, "Do you want any of this stuff?" And Joe Dante just went,
Yoink!
Yep. So Joe Dante got the Rosebud sled from Citizen Kane for free because it was about to be tossed out. And now, decades later, he sold it for $14 million.
That's insane.
And nobody's ever really known about that. He's never bragged about owning it. He's never really talked about it. But there's Easter eggs in his movies. He has put that sled in multiple movies.
I have not noticed it a single time.
It's in Explorers when they're in the junkyard and they find the tilt-a-whirl. It's just
Appropriately.
Yeah, exactly. It's just laying there in a pile of junk. So he found that like when they were making that movie. It's in The Burbs in the Klopek's basement when they're digging through his basement at the end of the movie. It's in a deleted shot from Gremlins 2 when all the gremlins are melting at the end. And then it was on an episode of the short-lived Joe Dante produced TV series Erie, Indiana. Like featured prominently in that.
Higher class than that show probably deserved.
We can talk about that show. I don't remember anything about it.
I'm not even saying it's a bad show. I'm just saying it's really interesting that Erie, Indiana featured Rosebud.
Yep. One of the most famous props in movie history. So, but that's Joe Dante. He always likes to put in little visual Easter eggs. He's not a reference guy for the most part, where he has characters like referencing old movies. It's always like little things in the background or set decoration or playing on TV.
They're already here.
All right.
You're next. You're next.
All right, so how are we going to start this off?
Well, we'll do what we did with John Carpenter was we both have our rankings, but we'll talk about them in your order.
Okay.
But I'll say what my equivalent number is. I'm very curious if we will have the same number 12. To me, it was like no contest.
Okay, I'm going to have a forewarning here. My ranking list could have been a tier list. Like near the bottom, I could have juggled some things around. Near the top, I could have juggled some things around.
Okay.
Okay? So,
Okay.
I'm sure there's one or two people are just going to scream at me.
That's fine. I have a feeling our lists are going to be pretty different.
I have Piranha.
And number 12?
It's a Roger Corman movie. It's not a Joe Dante movie. Piranha is a Roger Corman movie.
Yes. That's where Joe Dante got his start as an editor for Roger Corman. Technically, his first movie was called Hollywood Boulevard. He co-directed that with Alan Arkish.
Yo, wait a minute. What's this? It's what? I'm asking what? It's a mutation. You mean a mutant? It's not a mutant. It's a gorilla.
And then Roger Corman said, I have two movies, and I want you each to direct one. One of them is Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones. And the other is Piranha. And both of them wanted to make Rock and Roll High School, but Joe Dante did not win that debate. So he had to make Piranha. But he said, if I'm making a movie called Piranha, we're making a Jaws ripoff movie. Can I at least throw in some in-jokes? So like the first thing you see after the opening credits is somebody playing a Jaws video game. There's humor sprinkled throughout. What do I have Piranha at? It's near the bottom. I have it at number 9.
Okay. Okay.
So I think it's a completely serviceable Roger Corman movie.
I think part of my reasoning is it really does not feel like a Joe Dante movie. This does, Roger Corman, he had his thing. He did cheaply made movies, but made competently.
Yes.
And you could feel the cheapness.
Oh,
Like-
God, yeah.
The Piranhas, just you wave them around so fast you can't see how cheap the puppet looks. And just craziness for a bit. Most of it's people walking around and talking.
That is what kills the movie, is the disconnect. Like Piranha Mayhem, but it's so clear that all the shots of the piranha were done like 8 months later in a swimming pool with just someone wiggling around a rubber fish.
Yeah.
That really does kill a lot of the movie. There are little charming touches. They didn't need to put in a little stop motion creature for one moment, but they did. You have the opening, which
See, that would have been fun, little piranha men, but that would have been expensive.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why it's just in the one shot and then it's never seen again. They didn't have to put it in at all, though, and they did. So like that, and I was really shocked. The score is pretty good, and the score is by Pino Donaggio, who did a lot of Brian De Palma movies.
Okay.
And I was surprised by that Roger Corman would actually spring to get a real composer to do the movie.
Look, this is going to be as big as Jaws, Jay. It's going to be as big as Jaws.
Well, what's funny is because when Jaws and Star Wars were the two big movies that came out that critics were saying these are essentially B movies with big budgets. And so Roger Corman was like hesitant to make a Jaws ripoff. So he didn't make Piranha until Jaws 2 came out. So he could capitalize on Jaws 2. But he knew he could not compete with Jaws, so he didn't even bother. He waited a few more years, and then he made Piranha.
The first of the reoccurring people. Actually, I was shocked. Dick Miller's in everything.
Dick Miller's in every Joe Dante movie.
Every Joe Dante movie. I knew. Obviously, I knew he was in Gremlins. I knew he was in a lot of Joe Dante movies. I didn't know he was in literally every Joe Dante movie.
Yes, including his Twilight Zone segment.
Yeah, but also what I didn't know, I was a little surprised watching this. Other people that reoccur too. It wasn't just Dick Miller. This is Kevin McCarthy.
Yes.
From Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He shows up a lot.
He shows up in a lot, even in movies that he doesn't act in. He's in Gremlins, kind of, because they're watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers on the TV. And I remember seeing that as a kid, seeing Gremlins as a kid, and I didn't know what that movie was on the TV, but it's Kevin McCarthy screaming into the camera, "You're next, you're next." And it was like the creepiest part of Gremlins. And I didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until years later I found out that I thought maybe that was something they shot for the movie. It's like, oh, that's a real movie.
Yeah. I wrote down, I made a note of it just because I was amused by it. Our heroes, this woman who's searching for these missing kids, and just this guy who just tags along.
Yeah.
He just tags along. He's following around and he's got a flask.
Yeah.
He just goes into a secret military experimental base. Just, are you looking for those kids or whatever?
Could I have a sip of that, please?
It's not water.
But yeah, they meet that morning, and she just walks into his house.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're going to help me do this." He's like, "What? Okay.
Okay, I'm the co-star of the movie now.
And then by the end of that day, they're love interests.
That's fine. It's fine.
Efficiency of a Roger Corman film.
I was surprised they had the gall to attack children with the monsters.
Many children.
Many children. I thought that was going to be a last-minute save, but no, those kids get chomped on. I was legitimately shocked.
Well, Jaws kills one child. So when you do your Jaws ripoff, you just kill a bunch of kids.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's the logic.
Yeah. I mean, they even rip off, like, you know, we can't close the new park we just opened. We're going to downplay this threat in the water. It's such a Jaws ripoff. It's amazing.
Piranhas.
What about the goddamn piranhas?
They're eating the guests, sir.
And that's we will, as we go on, we should point out every role that Dick Miller plays. And here he's the promoter of the resort. He's basically the mayor from Jaws.
Kind of Mayor Brody.
Yeah, he's the mayor from Jaws, basically. And his assistant, whoever that actor is, that guy shows up in a bunch of Joe Dante movies too. He's a scientist in Inner Space, and he's a scientist in Gremlins too.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't notice that one.
Okay. There's so many more though. We can go through these.
Oh, go ahead if you want.
Belinda Belaski, who was one of the counselors at the kids' camp. She's in this. She's in The Howling. She's briefly in Gremlins. She's the one that when Mrs. Deagle comes out of the bank and she's like, "My kids are starving." Like that's Belinda Belaski. She's in several others. She even shows up in Small Soldiers.
Turn that off!
So yeah, if Joe Dante finds someone he likes working with,
he will stick with them.
These are all people that he met working with Roger Corman. Paul Bartel, who's kind of the militant head counselor at the camp for kids.
He's the usher in Gremlins too.
I can't believe this. I mean, this is worse than the first one.
We just show these movies, madam. We don't make them.
He's the usher in Gremlins too. He got his start with Roger Corman. He's directed Death Race 2000, and he acted in some stuff. So it's like all these people that Joe Dante met at the very beginning of his career, and they are in everything. Years later, working on big productions. The cinematographer for Piranha is a guy named Jamie Anderson, who he worked with. Worked on Roger Corman movies, but he was the cinematographer for Piranha, and then he wasn't the cinematographer for any Joe Dante movies until Small Soldiers. Yeah. So big DreamWorks movie, big budget movie, and he brings back his cinematographer from Piranha.
I mean, he was the director from Piranha, so it does, there's no shame in working on Piranha.
Oh, sure. I mean, so many people got their start with Roger Corman. But yeah, so that's, I don't know, there's some charms to the low budgetness of it. they do what they can, because Joe Dante started as an editor. So he's smart enough to, like, you know what? None of these people that we're following are terribly interesting, but if we cut between all these little stories enough, it'll give the illusion of being interesting.
For the record, there are no Ghost of Mars in this list. I don't hate any of these movies. I want to make that clear.
I borderline hate my number 12.
Okay, what was your number 12?
Borderline. My number 12 was Burying the X.
That's my number 11.
Okay, well, let's move on to number 11. Burying the X, Joe Dante's most recent film.
One of the first things I noticed was the absence of Jerry Goldsmith.
Yes, that was something I wanted to bring up. That's the secret sauce.
That is the secret sauce. I was listening to this and I'm like, this music is just lifeless.
Well, it's like sitcom-y.
Sitcom.
It's very corny.
Sitcom. I wrote down in my notes, the first thing I wrote was music, not Jerry Goldsmith, very notable. And then I wrote, why does this feel like a TV production?
Do you like the color? It's made from fresh cut wheatgrass, so no solvents, toxic metals, or volatile organic compounds.
It's the humor is very sitcom-y, except for the main character played by Anton Yelchin. He has a half-brother character.
Yeah.
And everything with him, that half-brother character is like a womanizer. He's, talks poorly about women. And it's like very like 2010s bro humor.
Hey, baby, you ever bang a Viking, huh? Once you go Norse, you'll have no remorse.
So it's like lame, corny sitcom humor, 2010s bro. It's like the worst comedy.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, there's nothing worse than a bad comedy.
So that bad comedy, and I hate to say it because he's passed on, but Anton Yelchin, he's horrible in this.
She's back, she's dead, and she thinks we're still dating.
I'm going to say, because my takeaway, I put this down somewhere.
He's horrible in this.
Well, I said Anton Yelchin is fighting for his life to give a real performance. What he's trying to do in the movie is tonally at odds with what the movie is doing. So
it's a goofy comedy about a dead girlfriend who becomes a zombie, and he's trying to play it like a drama.
No, then we can have quickie first.
Please, Evelyn, you just rose from the dead. You deserve more than a quickie.
It made me, more than anything, it made me like just realize what a loss Anton Yelchin was. He was a very talented actor. He's fine in those Star Trek movies, but the movie Green Room, he's great in that. And so, yeah, you watch him in this movie and it's like, this is a guy that is going to go places. He's doing what he can in this terrible movie. I agree, his performance is at odds with what the movie is trying to do. I don't think it's a bad performance. I just think it's not the right performance for this film.
That's fair.
But that's one positive I will say about the movie. I think the humor is terrible. The score is bad. The cinematography is kind of cheap. But the two leads, Anton Yelchin and Alexandra Daddario, are really trying, and I think they are very sweet together in the film. They have a real chemistry.
She's very warm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very big smile, very pleasant personality. She kind of gets the tone of the movie.
It's a fun premise.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a fun premise. I saw the trailer, and I'm like, okay, this might be fun. And then I watched it, I'm like, this could have been more fun.
They don't have a lot of jokes. Once she comes back from the...
They don't do enough with the fact that she's a zombie. Like, she should have been creepy, slightly off when she comes back, and she acts more or less the same way she did when she was alive.
That's what I wrote.
Most of the movie?
Yeah, most of the movie is like a silly comedy. She just happens to be a zombie. She does yoga at one point. It's like, oh, she can do bigger poses than she could because her bones are breaking.
They could have made this same movie and have her not been a zombie, and it largely would have been the same movie of just a guy who didn't have the guts to break up with his current girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what I wrote, is because at a certain point, the Anton Yelchin's half-brother, I keep wanting to say stepbrother, his half-brother comes over, he's supposed to kill his zombie girlfriend, and she ends up eating his brains. And this is like 20 minutes before the movie ends, and this is the first time it's done anything that feels like a horror movie.
Yes! It should have been building up to that.
Yeah, she gets more and more creepy, but she's just kind of silly the whole way through, and then all of a sudden, oh, I guess we're a horror movie now.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add? Oh, the biggest pop I had in this movie, though? Dick Miller shows up. I didn't think Dick Miller was going to show up in this one.
Hold your horses. Been on a John.
Dick Miller in this one plays a very, very, very old cop. That was my note.
Yeah. Earlier on in the film, there's like a delivery guy who shows up to
That's another reoccurring actor.
Yeah.
I don't know his name either, but he's in a lot of these.
What if they're eating in an airplane and they cross a time zone? I mean, it's always midnight somewhere.
But I saw him and I'm like, I bet that was supposed to be Dick Miller. Because that felt like a Dick Miller part in a Joe Dante movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just the working class delivery guy who shows up for one scene, like, that was probably supposed to be Dick Miller. Oh, Dick Miller's not going to be in this. I'm so disappointed. Oh, there he is. He's a very old policeman.
It's the most unbelievable thing in the movie, that he would still be a cop.
But it's fine. It's Dick Miller.
It's nice that he shows up. And that's the thing, is Joe Dante, I think he knows with these minor roles that you could just cast like nobody in the part and it would be a nothing part. But he knows you put a memorable actor in these tiny one or two line roles and it makes that part more memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Just Dick Miller being in the movie makes the movie better.
If Joe Dante makes another movie, there is a 100% chance there will be a Dick Miller movie on the TV in the background.
Oh, yeah.
100% chance.
There would have to be.
Yes.
R.I.P. Dick Miller.
R.I.P. Dick Miller.
Oh, this is what I want to mention, the cinematography, too. There's a cameo in this movie. Because Anton Yelchin works at this, like, horror store.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that place would stay in business, but whatever. But one of the customers, because their whole thing is, their slogan is like, they say, thanks for shopping, go to hell, or something like that.
Right.
And there's one customer that's I think it's a reoccurring gag where customers don't get that that's their catchphrase, and so they're offended. One of those guys that's leaving the store that gets offended is a guy named John Hora.
Why don't you go to hell?
Already there, sir.
Who was the other secret sauce in Joe Dante movies, because he was the cinematographer for most of his career.
Yeah.
Gremlins, The Howling. All the best, like when you think of like what a Joe Dante movie looks like. Lots of shadows, shafts of light shining through Venetian blinds. He loves that shit. That's all John Hora. John Hora was not the cinematographer for this movie, and the movie looks kind of crappy, but John Hora has a cameo in it. He also has a small role in Inner Space as an actor. He's not an actor, and Joe Dante just puts him in his movies.
Yeah.
But he apparently only puts him in movies that he's not the cinematographer for.
Because when he's a cinematographer, he's busy being the cinematographer.
I guess.
That's probably the only reason. It's probably that practical reason.
And then when he's not the cinematographer, Joe Dante just wants him around.
Man, you're friends.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I get it.
But burying the X, it's like, man, I wish John Hora shot this. Oof.
It feels like a TV show.
My only other note, and this is kind of a morbid note to end on, but it's a very LA movie. Like they go to the New Bev Cinema, which now is owned by Quentin Tarantino. I don't think it was when they made the movie, but they frequently go to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is a real cemetery. And they're walking through it. That's his first date with Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah.
They're walking through it, and she's like, don't you know who's buried here? And they're listing off like Peter Lorre and all these actors. Do you know who's now buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery?
Ooh.
Anton Yelchin.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
How morbid. We go from the Twilight Zone to this.
That's true. This is the dark discussion. Let's get out of this shit.
Goddamn methods.
So my number 12 was Burying the X. My number 11 is The Hole.
Okay. All right. My number 10. Jay, this is...
Oh, no.
This is my Halloween moment.
Okay.
All over again. It's Halloween all over again. You know what I have at number 10? The Howling.
Well, first off, Dick Miller alert. He plays the bookstore owner.
Yes.
That's his role in the film.
Should we start off everyone with like, this is the role Dick Miller plays in this movie?
Sure. Let's do that from now on. That's my first note on every movie, so why not?
I wrote them as they showed up.
Yeah,
the reoccurring players.
I mean, that makes sense.
My feelings about The Howling, this feels like the last 70s movie. It released in 1981, but this does not feel like an 80s movie. It's a pet peeve of mine. I like being invested in a protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
This movie doesn't have a clear protagonist.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of Dee Wallace. But I had the same note for both The Howling and Piranha, which are both written by the same guy. They're both written by John Sayles. But both movies are like weirdly overstuffed with characters.
Yes.
Both movies, and I don't know why. If they just were concerned that it would get too boring if it focused on somebody. But this one, I like Dee Wallace in general, and it's nice to see her not play a mom.
No, she's great.
Yeah.
I wish she was the star of the movie.
Sometimes she is.
Oh, sometimes she's the star, and sometimes it's her husband. And then, we're cutting back to the city, and it's just her newspaper friend. I guess he's solving the mystery? Why?
Yeah, there's two sets of couples. There's
Yeah.
Dee Wallace and her husband, and then there's, she works at a news station. And there's all the people that work at the news station, including Kevin McCarthy, again. But then there's the other couple that also work there. And they're also invested in all of this drama and mystery. Why don't we narrow this down to one couple?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need the emotional heart of the film. I don't know. It looks good because the cinematographer is good.
I was going to say, that's what kind of elevates it for me. I'm a sucker, especially in a movie like this, I'm a sucker for atmosphere. And I love the cinematography in this movie. This might be my favorite John Hura shot movie.
It's got great atmosphere.
Yes.
But it doesn't feel like a story to me. It feels like a series of events.
A little bit, yeah, because it is kind of bouncing between characters.
Yeah.
I do like that it's a werewolf movie, but it takes a while before introducing the werewolf elements. It starts with Dee Wallace investigating the serial killer, played by Robert Picardo, who's another reoccurring Joe Dante character.
You said on the phone that you wanted to get to know me. Well, here I am, Karen. Look at me.
I once I realized that was Robert Picardo, once we get the full reveal of him, I wrote down Robert Picardo, because I didn't know he was a Joe Dante mainstay. I knew he was in Gremlins too.
Yeah.
I wrote down Robert Picardo, ! Question mark, !
It's an early role for him. I don't think it's his first movie, but it's early.
It's very early. I think of him as a very good comedian.
Yeah.
And he's playing a deranged monster in this.
He's genuinely creepy in this movie.
Yeah.
That first scene, Dee Wallace is investigating. She's walking through the streets in the seedy part of town. That's some more of that great cinematography with the neon lights behind her. She's walking down the street. But she goes into the porno store and goes into the back room. And yeah, Robert Picardo is just standing behind her. It's really creepy.
Yeah.
And yeah, his
close
performance.
up his mouth. It's not quite a full mustache going on.
Yeah, just sort of scruffy and gross.
Scruffy, disgusting. Oh my God, this is off-putting. He is genuinely creepy. The movie kind of surprised me. I was convinced, and it just surprised me, and then it de-subverted my expectation. I was convinced this movie is about her discovering that she was turned into a werewolf, like the standard werewolf trope. When she goes to this town, they're going to take her into their little werewolf community, and you're one of us now because Robert Picardo made you a werewolf in that porno booth. But they didn't really do that. It was her husband that gets bit after they go to the lichen colony. Now I know where that came from. And they're it's like a self-help guru werewolf community where they're trying to they're raising cattle, they don't want to attack people. That's an interesting premise on its own. I almost wish they focused more on that.
Yeah, because that's kind of and that's where you think Joe Dante, he has kind of a satirical edge to some of his stuff. You could have some fun playing in that world, especially that era of self-help gurus. But yeah, it's kind of a small part of the larger story, and then the serial killer angle, just overstuffed with characters.
Yes, it's overstuffed with stuff.
Yeah. But the makeup is great. It suffers from the fact that it's not American Werewolf in London.
That's the other thing. Yeah. You have this amazing werewolf transformation in this, and it's completely overshadowed by an American Werewolf in London.
And that's American Werewolf in London is Rick Baker. This is Rob Bottin, who went on to do The Thing and plenty of big movies. But in this, it's just kind of lots of
puff,
bladders.
Too much focusing on the bladders for 5. I don't need a 5-minute shot of Robert Picardo's cheek doing.
Yeah.
We get it?
Right. A couple bad effects. They turned into Looney Tunes for one shot when they're having a werewolf sex by the fire. It's just full-blown cartoon for that one shot. And then one very brief stop-motion shot near the end that I think they must have been able to tell it didn't look good because there's like several dissolves over top of it. It's like that one stop-motion shot in Gremlins. That's a better one, but it's like, you just do the one. There's one stop-motion creature in Parada. It's like he just felt compelled to have these stop-motion things.
Gremlins, well, we'll get to Gremlins. That needed one wide shot of the Gremlins running around. That was the only way they could do that back then.
That's how they could do it then, yeah. Cameos. We got Roger Corman. Did you notice him?
Oh, yeah, Roger Corman, yeah.
Standing outside the phone booth.
We got Dick Miller, which isn't really a cameo, but...
No, yeah, some of these Dick Miller roles, I think you would classify as a cameo, and then some are just a full-blown supporting role.
Yeah.
I got chicken blood. I got dog embryos. I got black candles. I got wolfbane. Look at this. Silver bullets.
He shows up a few times in this, so...
He's the bookstore guy.
He's the bookstore guy.
He's the one who knows about werewolves. They got to talk to him.
He's the exposition guy.
He conveniently has 30 silver bullets. Very, very conveniently.
I mean, they explain it. They explain why he has them. It's like somebody ordered them and didn't pick them up. It's kind of a fun little detail. Like, that's fine. And another reoccurring thing in Joe Dante films is somebody watching TV that is either playing an old 50s monster movie or a cartoon that is related to what is happening in the movie we're watching.
Yes.
I think we get both of those in this movie.
And in every movie, if it's not on a TV, they're at least referencing old Warner Brothers cartoons or old cartoons in general or a 50s B movie.
Yeah.
Every single one. Joe Dante is, man, here's what I've learned about Joe Dante. He's a man who, I don't even mean this as an insult, never let go of his childhood. It's very much in everything he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, has an encyclopedic knowledge of a specific time in movie history.
Either references to this, like his childhood, because it's on a TV in the background, or like explorers. It's about, kids and wondering and discovery,
Yeah. Or Matinee, which takes place when he would have been a child.
Yes.
So, yeah, and that's kind of another difference from like talking about John Carpenter movies. John Carpenter movies are so kind of like cynical. He's such an angry man. And Joe Dante, there's a almost Spielberg-type warmth to his movies with just a slightly more cynical edge than a Spielberg movie.
He's like somewhere right in between Spielberg and John Carpenter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little more playful than John Carpenter, but not as schmaltzy as Spielberg could be. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice...
As evidenced by Spielberg's segment of the Twilight Zone movie, which is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, that movie...
Just so much schmaltz.
Both the first two segments, even aside from the first segment is the John Landis one, even aside from the accident, I don't think it's a very good segment.
No, it's terrible.
And then the Spielberg one sucks. The Joe Dante one is one of the best things ever. And then the George Miller one is very good.
And they were both, like, relatively no-name at the time.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure I can go through with this.
You have to.
One thing I will say about The Howling, I really think the concept behind the ending is really just cool. The live TV werewolf reveal.
Yeah, where...
This could have been a short story, and it would have been the coolest fucking thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we as an audience don't know that she's going to go on and turn into a werewolf to expose this this colony of werewolves.
Because she does get bit near the end of this movie, and now finally she is cursed with the werewolf. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we got to expose to the world that these werewolves exist, and they have a colony, and they're dangerous. And how do we get people to actually believe us?
What are you kids watching?
The news lady's turned into a werewolf.
It's something that just wouldn't work today. Because I don't think anybody watches the live news networks anymore.
Yeah, and if you posted it on social media, everyone would just say it's fake.
Or AI now.
It's AI. Yeah.
But just the idea of in the 80s, somebody, a news anchor transforming into a werewolf on live TV and getting shot is the coolest fucking idea. It's just a shame that the makeup they used makes her look like an Ewok.
I was thinking that, yeah.
She's a lady,
or like a little dog.
She's a lady werewolf, and she looks kind of cute. What did you? No, why did you do that? You've established a look for your werewolves. They're terrifying. That's what you want this one to look like.
I'm assuming they wanted it so you still had some sort of connection to her humanity, maybe? I don't know.
Like the elaborate Robert Picardo transformation, I think should have been saved for the ending. It should have been saved for that scene.
Yeah.
That should have been her.
Just keep cutting to people watching.
In
like,
horror.
What the fuck?
In fucking horror, yes.
What is this?
That's the Howling. What did you have for number 10?
Number 10 on my list is Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Okay.
Is that higher on your list?
Not much.
Okay.
All right, my number 9 then is The Hole.
Yeah, this is the only one I had never seen before because I don't think it got much of a release in the US. This was 2008, I think. And it was 2009. It was right around the time of the new revival of 3D with the success of Avatar.
The Hole in 3D.
How do the two of you feel about having the house to yourselves for a day or two?
Bad.
And I don't know whose idea, if it was Joe Dante's idea or someone involved in the production.
Joe Dante loves 50s movies.
That's true.
He probably would have loved the idea of making a 3D movie.
But it's not gimmicky 3D.
No.
It's doing that's 2000s immersive 3D, I guess. But it never found like good distribution in the US, so it's like barely been seen here. It got released in other parts of the world, but it was just one of those movies that kind of came and nobody saw it, and then just nobody talks about it. It's sort of vanished.
I mean, it's not especially noteworthy.
No, it's my number 11.
Yeah.
But first, Dick Miller, Pizza Guy.
Thanks, man.
No dialogue. What a waste.
My first note is, does this kid have a mush mouth?
We got this hole in the floor, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah, all the kids in this movie suck.
It's like you cast Rich Evans as the lead actor in your film. Why would you ever do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I said about the acting, low energy, boring.
Yeah.
These kids are boring. Because the premise of this one, you most likely have never seen it. Kids move, older brother, little brother, and a mom, single mom, move into a new house in a new neighborhood, and the kids discover there's a hole in the basement. What is this hole? What does it do? And then weird things start to happen. They have to figure out what the creepy stuff going on in this hole is.
A bottomless hole, it's not a bad idea. It's a fun idea. Movie's not about a hole.
No.
Movie's about your fears coming to life. Why is there a hole?
Because that's where the fears come out of, Rich. They physically manifest themselves in this hole for some reason.
You know what the premise reminds me of? Because you're not going to know this. You were never an Art Bell fan, right?
No.
Okay. Art Bell, if you don't know, had a radio show called like Coast to Coast AM. It was like late night, midnight to like 5 a.m. And he liked to talk about conspiracy theories, werewolves, ghosts, aliens, especially aliens.
Sure.
He had a frequent caller called Mel, who claimed to have a bottomless hole on his property.
Oh.
Mel's Hole. It's got a Wikipedia page. It's a whole fucking thing.
Okay.
He would call in every now and then. Yeah, I got a bottomless hole in my property. We put this line down there, went 20,000 feet deep, and there's nothing down there. And then like he'd come back like every now and then, like there'd be new developments for the hole. Yeah, we threw our neighbor's dead dog in the hole.
Oh my God.
It came back. So the day after, we found a dog walking around. It was our neighbor's dog.
Oh my God.
And then the government got interested in one of the later calls. The government is sniffing around now, and then the government stole his property, and it was forced out of his home, and he was on the run. It's this whole fucking thing. And it would have
should have been the hole.
It would have made a much better story than this.
Yeah.
And it's a story about a bottomless hole.
Are you lost or something?
I don't want to die.
Because the Bruce Dern is in this movie. Who's another person that shows up. And he's in The Burbs. He's one of the voices of the soldiers and small soldiers.
Oh, that I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of trivia about the voice actors in that movie. But he shows up in this. He is apparently the former owner of the house. And so the kids are like, oh, what's with this hole? Let's go find the former owner of the house. He went crazy. Let's go find him. And so they go find him in this weird location where he has shit hanging from the ceiling. And it's like, it's that scene in the movie where you dump the exposition. But there is no exposition.
We learn nothing.
We learn nothing. They just go and see Bruce Dern, and he acts crazy, and then they say, okay, bye.
He's
and
got light bulbs everywhere. Like, is light going to be the key to defeating the Hulk now?
It's so strange. And that's the whole movie, where it's like, you keep waiting for it to get interesting. And I don't know, the last like 15, 20 minutes kind of do. They at least get a little visual.
He makes that like a Stranger Things puzzle where Bruce Dern just draws a bunch of shit on pads and they find out it's like a puzzle and they put it together. Like, he's psychic?
Yeah.
Why is he psychic? What does that have to do with the hole? What does that have to do with the fears that you face because of the hole? Why is that? Would that make him psychic?
Do they say what his fear is? Oh, he's fear.
I'm assuming the dark.
The dark.
Because
That's
of
why
all
he has
the light bulbs.
Yeah. Because the younger brother, he's scared of clowns or dolls, and it's like a poltergeist thing. It's like the closest thing to a Joe Dante moment. He has a little fight with the doll in the basement.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, no, it's over.
It's a little bit fun.
It's kind of fun.
I did appreciate the Sixth Sense moment where the girl talks to the dead girl ghost that was her friend.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of a spooky moment, it's an emotional resolution. I like that. I actually really like that scene.
Yeah, it was all right. I
right.
was too distracted by the fact that the ghost girl was clearly played by a boy. For some reason.
Why?
Why did you do that?
Why?
Just weird little choices.
Yeah.
But the characters, the acting is so dull. And the whole movie kind of looks like a cereal commercial.
Well, I had a note. I know they just moved in, but it was bothering me how just sterile the house they were in looked. There's like nothing on the walls.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the explanation, is they just moved in, but it's not very
They
interesting.
could have moved into an old creepy house that had some character to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a house that's got like a weird hole in the basement. It could have been an old creepy house.
Sure.
It could have been. They could have been at an interesting location.
It's all the single mother could afford.
Yeah.
This creepy old house.
Yeah.
Do something with that.
I wrote down 3 times, why the fuck won't they tell their mom?
Because if they did, then there would be no movie.
Lock the fucking hole back up.
Close the fucking door.
Close the fucking door.
Yeah.
Like, buy more locks. Those are just fucking bicycle locks. Buy more locks.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't know, I get it. It's manifesting their fears. And the older brother, for the longest time, he doesn't want to say what his fear is. It turns out he's scared of his dad because his dad was abusive. So going into that, like, we're trying to do like a real trauma territory.
It was fine. It was fine. It wasn't horrible.
No, it's fine. It's just weird because it's so, at the end, he goes down into the hole and he confronts this like Monster Man version of his dad. And it's very Tim Burton-y. It's very like it's like the first.
It's got those oversized props.
Yeah, and it's
because he's like a kid.
Yeah,
he's not played by a kid anymore. You know,
right? It's kind of cool. Like visually, it looks kind of neat for a movie that's been so dull up until then. But it's just, it just seems like it's out of another movie once it gets to that point.
Yeah,
I appreciated it because it was like, oh, something, but.
It's a number 10.
It's too little too late.
It's a number 10.
The number 10 and my number 11.
Yeah. Our lists are pretty close. There's like offset by 1 because I put the burner on at 12.
The only other note I have, the writer is a guy named Mark L. Smith who went on to write The Revenant.
Okay.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
That's very different from The Hole. And he also wrote Twisters.
Oh. Okay.
So,
well, you know, he's got a career. That's good.
He's a guy that just writes things.
Now AI does this job better.
Well, my number 8 is.
What was your number 9?
My number 9 was Piranha.
Piranha. Okay.
And my number 8 is Small Soldiers.
Okay. Okay. My number 8 is Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah, this is one, I only saw it once. I saw it when it first came out, just because I knew it was Joe Dante, so I saw it when it was on like cable. I didn't see it in the theater or anything. Nobody did, apparently. It was a gigantic flop.
Yes.
This is the movie that killed Joe Dante's studio career.
Yes.
He had lots of fights with the studio about the movie, but I saw it once then. And so my long-lasting memory of only having seen it that one time was, it's not very good, it's kind of a mess, but Joe Dante understands the Looney Tunes. And there's some good bits in it. That was my memory of it. And in rewatching it, those good bits are like the first 8 7 or 8 minutes, and then the scene in the Louvre. And that's it.
Well, this is surreal. Stop or fire.
Also, if you're mixing cartoons with live action, why is your live action stuff so cartoony? It should contrast with the cartoons.
Yeah, that was...
Otherwise, just make an animated movie.
That was probably a studio thing. I bet if Joe Dante could, he would probably want to make just a full-blown Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah.
Which now they're doing. They've made a couple of them. But at that point, yeah, I think they were still trying to... Even though Space Jam came out 10 years before this? Maybe even more? But that was still, they were in the studio, Warner Brothers was in that mindset of we got to mix live action with Looney Tunes. It's the only way we can market this shit if we have a Brendan Fraser, a big name actor in it. So I think that was the mentality. But him and what's her name, Jenna Elfman, are not good at interacting with the Looney Tunes in the way that Bob Hoskins in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
We of course did a review on Who Framed Roger Rabbit and what makes that movie work.
It's ruined every other live action plus cartoon movie for all time.
What makes that movie work is that the real world is the real world. It's very grounded.
Yeah.
And then the Looney Tunes, that's the contrast. The animated stuff is outlandish and silly. But in this movie, I love Steve Martin. But holy God, is he awful in this.
Has Steve Martin ever given a performance bad? Not only a performance as bad as this, has he ever had a bad performance before?
I think this is a case of I'm in a cartoon movie, I'm going to act silly, and nobody stopped him because he's Steve Martin.
Oh, I've seen you notice me. I know I'm hot.
It's the single worst performance he has ever given.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to watch.
It's eye and ear grating how terrible everything he does in this movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Every wrong choice.
And I was thinking for the longest time, because he's essentially the villain. Is he the head of the Acme Corporation? Yeah. That's the whole idea. The main plot of the movie has nothing to do with Looney Tunes. It's Brendan Fraser and his dad was a spy action star, but he also was a real spy. And then the Looney Tunes are just kind of hanging out. They're sort of what kick off the movie, but most of the plot has nothing to do with the Looney Tunes. Mm-hmm. But Steve Martin is the bad guy, and he's kind of overseeing everything. And for most of the movie, I was watching, he's in this one boardroom. For most of the movie, I was did they shoot all of his scenes in a day? Yeah. But then he does show up at the end. They're in the jungle or whatever. So maybe they shot him.
They got most of his shots done in a day.
Yeah, maybe they shot him in 2 days.
Yeah.
But another thing is when they're in the jungle, everything looks so phony. The whole movie looks it didn't look I never felt like I was watching a movie. It all looks like everybody's on green screens, even when they're not. It just has this weird, ugly polish to it.
Get over here, you idiot. No, cold, warmer. Hey!
But if we're talking about Joe Dante details, that corporate boardroom, so many little cameos along that boardroom.
Who's in the boardroom?
We got Vernon Wells from Road Warrior, who also shows up in Inner Space as the thug with the detachable hand.
I had a crisis later on when I was ranking the movies. Mm-hmm. This is one of the first ones I watched.
Okay.
And I wasn't yet keeping track of Dick Miller. I didn't know how prominent Dick Miller was yet, and I didn't write that Dick Miller was in this one. I know he has to be in there, and I'm racking my brain. I can't remember where Dick Miller is in this movie. I went to search on YouTube, Looney Tunes back in action, Dick Miller. Nothing was coming up. I could not find a single clip of Dick Miller in this movie. Help me, Jay.
Dick Miller was a security guard on the Warner Brothers lot.
Did he say anything in this one?
Your father would be so ashamed of you.
So yeah, he's on the Warner Brothers lot, which is the best stuff in the movie. The opening of the movie is very strange.
It's pretty good.
But it's weird because it sets up this world. It doesn't set up the world. It expects you to understand that this is Warner Brothers and the Looney Tunes are still a very valuable part of their brand.
In 2003.
Yeah, but that's how they're treating it, and that was not the case. It's very strange. But on the Warner Brothers backlot, they're making a big budget Batman movie that's being directed by Roger Corman. But also the Warner Brothers are actual literal brothers, twin brothers. Yeah. And it's the guys from Gremlins 2. So there's fun little details. They're showing the commissary. And they're panning across, and we have Speedy Gonzalez and Porky Pig talking about how their careers have tanked because of cultural sensitivities. Yeah. That joke is too good for this movie.
At first they told me to lose the stutter. Well, they tell me I'm not funny. It's a pain in the butt being politically correct. You're telling me.
I think the best part of the movie was when it's revealed that Brendan Fraser's car is a gremlin.
Oh, yes.
And just for a second, they played the theme.
Your dad's a spy, ipso ergo, a spy car.
Used to deliver pizzas in this car.
And that's the thing, is like all the little Easter eggs in this movie are kind of fun. All the little Joe Dante things. But man, the actual plot.
The 50s lab sci-fi monsters.
That's like Joe Dante gone
Joe
berserk.
Dante heaven.
Yes, yes. We got
Fucking
Robbie
Kevin
the Robot.
McCarthy shows up in black and white.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of a fun area. What are they?
It's Area 52.
It's Area 52. Area
Yeah.
51 was the decoy.
Yeah.
And yeah, all sorts of like old monster movie aliens are in there. The robot monster, which is famously just a gorilla costume with a diving helmet on it. There's an actual movie. He shows up. So all those little details. That's why that scene in the Louvre is so great. It's like a classic Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
Where they're running through the different paintings.
It's a bit they would do.
It's a bit that would happen, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, that's the type of stuff Joe Dante likes and probably wanted to do more of. But the studio just, cramming commercials for Walmart, that type of shit.
Would love to know what his original vision was.
I don't know. I don't know who wrote the script. He didn't write it, but obviously he has a...
Did he write? I don't think he wrote any of these.
But that is another interesting thing about Joe Dante as opposed to John Carpenter. With a few exceptions, most of John Carpenter movies were like his idea. John Carpenter's The Fog, John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Joe Dante, going all the way back to the Roger Corman days, was always kind of a director for hire, who then tried to infuse Joe Dante-ness into all the movies he made.
That's something I want to talk about too, because like a lot of the big '80s directors were their own brand.
Yeah.
You went to see a Steven Spielberg movie. Mm-hmm. It's a Robert Zemeckis movie. It's John Carpenter's this or that.
Yeah.
You got to touch me. You said you wanted to watch all the Joe Dante movies. And I said, oh, that would be fun. And then I just had a moment. Wait, what are the Joe Dante movies? It's like I know Joe Dante, but he did Inner Space. That's right. Mm-hmm. Rather than, oh, that's Joe Dante's Inner Space.
Yeah. He was always kind of a director for hire.
Yeah.
And when he was left alone to do his own thing, he could infuse the movies with enough personality and charm to make them work.
Little touches of juvenile humor.
Mm-hmm. Lots of Looney Tunes references.
Mm-hmm.
There's better Looney Tunes references in movies that aren't Looney Tunes back in action. So, yeah, I didn't take a whole lot of notes for this one.
Gremlins 2 is legitimately a better Looney Tunes movie than Looney Tunes back in action.
Yes. It never felt like I was watching a movie. Every scene felt like it was going to end as like a reveal that it's a commercial for like, I don't know. I mean, there is a Walmart commercial in the movie. They try to pass that off as a product placement joke. Yeah, it always felt like it was going to be a commercial for Coca-Cola or some sort of product. And then the commercial never came.
Oh, Quad.
Then we're up to my number 7, which I had The Explorers.
Horses, of course, but no one can talk to a horse, of course.
Explorers is my number 6.
And like,
so we're always
yeah, we're right, and then we're in the ballpark.
The Howling, that's the one that fucked it all up.
Yeah. No, we're in the section where I don't hate any of these coming up.
Yeah.
I don't really hate any of them, but like everything up and here out, I kind of like.
Oh, I didn't take any notes on The Explorers, but Dick Miller, he plays Guy that's trying to investigate this kid.
Is a very generic part. It's the least energy Dick Miller role, and yet it's one of the bigger parts he had.
Yeah, well, until he just disappears from the movie.
Right.
Which is something to talk about with this movie. This is another troubled production film. We'll get into that, but a much better movie than Looney Tunes Back in Action.
And War of the Worlds shows up on the TV. You gotta have that 50s TV background thing going on. On other reference, did you catch the cartoon reference in this?
I don't think so.
Do you know what their middle school is called?
No, I didn't notice.
The Charles Jones Junior High.
Oh, okay. Did you notice Chuck Jones's cameo in Inner Space?
No, I did notice his cameo in Gremlins, though.
Okay, yeah, it's very blatant in Gremlins.
Yeah.
I think he even calls him
Mr.
Chuck.
Jones.
Mr. Jones, yeah. Well, I'll mention it when we get to Inner Space, but Explorers was a childhood favorite of mine. It was a movie I hadn't seen in a very long time. Speaking of Jerry Goldsmith, I think this is his best score for a Joe Dante movie.
No.
No?
But it's good. No.
Okay. For me, it's so rousing. Joe Dante himself has said that the score does a lot of the heavy lifting with this movie.
That might be true, but I don't think it's the best Jerry Goldsmith score.
Okay.
In a Joe Dante movie. It might do the most heavy lifting in this. Yes, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. Because the backstory with this movie is that Joe Dante was hired to make it. He shot the whole movie. And Joe Dante is one of those filmmakers who kind of shoots more than he ends up using, and he kind of finds the movie in editing. So he's in the process of editing the movie, and the studio said, hey, we want to push up the release date of this movie by like a month or 2 months. So wherever you're at with the edit, you're just done.
Oh.
So he never got to finish editing the movie.
Oh.
They, of course, went in and did finalizing, mixing, and stuff. But yeah, he basically had the movie taken away from him. So that's why Dick Miller just kind of vanished. He seems like he's going to have a role.
Yeah.
Because he's like investigating this kid. He kind of feels like he's like the grown-up version of that kid. Like he had these dreams when he was young. And
He's got that one moment, you did it, kid, or something like that.
Yeah, you
did good.
Nice going, kid.
But then he's just gone from the movie. So there's things like that. There's stuff that isn't tied up too well. And that's because the studio basically just said, you're done editing. We're just going to release it, which is kind of crazy. But given those circumstances, it's an incredibly charming movie. This was a childhood favorite of mine. It's the kind of movie like The Goonies or something where it really, like, if you're that age, if you're the age of the kids, when you see the movie, it really captures your imagination.
Yeah. It's a perfect kids movie.
If kids wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
I want to build my own spaceship out of a tilt-a-whirl and actually go into space.
This is gonna sound bizarre, but do you know what this movie reminds me of? And it's gonna sound bizarre.
Okay.
Iron Man.
That does not sound bizarre because I was thinking that too.
Okay.
The trial and error.
The trial and error. The invention.
Yes.
The concept of this movie is, hey, what if these kids built their own spaceship? And there's like you go through with them the process they go through of creating this machine. Like he gets the dream and I put it in the computer and this ball shows up, invisible ball, and it destroys their lab. And that leads to the next step. Okay, well, we'll experiment with it out in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, where we can't destroy the lab. And then they discover, we can get trapped in the ball ourselves. And momentum, just one discovery leads to the next, and the ideas build, and we're gonna make our own spaceship.
Oh my God, that's so crazy that we were both thinking of Iron Man. But yeah, that's what I always loved about the first Iron Man movie is,
the best part
is
trial
and error.
Tony Stark building the suit, creating the suit, troubleshooting the suit.
Yes. And that's so much of this movie. And you really and all three of the kids kind of contribute their own thing. You have the brains, you have the dreamer, and you have the
practical one.
The practical kind of like one who knows how to work with tools.
Yeah.
And actually physically build the thing.
I know where we can find a tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah, it's right next to the Rosebud sled. But and all three of those kids are great. River Phoenix, another one, like Anton Yelchin.
All-star cast.
Yeah.
Nobody could have known that at the time. They were just kids. But...
Yeah, Ethan Hawke, it was his first movie. And then the other kid, Jason something, I can't remember his last name. He kind of feels like that would have been, like, I don't know why that's not played by Corey Feldman. Because Joe Dante had worked with Corey Feldman.
No, he's the tougher kid. Corey Feldman cannot play the tough kid.
Stand By Me, he's kind of, he wants to be the tough kid, I guess, more than he actually is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the kid, that kid didn't go on to have much of a career. He does show up in Gremlins too, at the frozen yogurt stand.
Oh my God, I didn't catch that one either.
Yeah, when they ask if the peanut butter cups are all natural.
Are the peanut butter cups all natural?
I think so. I know they're pesticide-free.
I think so. I know they're pesticide-free. That's him. That's the kid from Explorers.
Is that the one that says, no, she said there are no rats?
Did she say there are rats? No, she said there's no rats.
That's not what she said.
Underrated line.
Yeah, every line in Gremlins 2 is brilliant, but we'll get to that.
Tonight, we launch. All right.
The fact that it's built out of a tilt-a-whirl feels like an idea a kid would come up with. So just, a really charming movie until...
Falls apart when they actually get into space and meet the aliens. It kind of has the same problem of Iron Man, too, where you have this great movie about someone building something, well, then what do you do?
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
The idea is good. The idea that they go off into space and they're exploring and they meet aliens and then it turns out the aliens are just kids, just like them. I think that's a great idea. And I love the look of the ship. I love the aliens have been like informed by American pop culture, by Earth pop culture. So you have like, again, a Joe Dante staple of having TV showing stuff. And the fact that you're seeing it like projected onto their faces, like visually, it's all awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
But that alien, and it's Robert Picardo.
Robert Picardo.
In one of, I think, 3 roles in this movie.
He's the guy in the drive-thru movie, which is fun.
Yes, yeah,
We
the
see
fake B movie.
The fake movie, which we see more of in Matinee, and it's great.
In Matinee, it feels more like authentically accurate. Here it's kind of goofy, but that's fine. But yeah, and then Robert Picardo is the alien at the end. The makeup of the alien is amazing, and Robert Picardo is giving it his all, but that alien is so goddamn annoying.
For some reason, I think my wires got crossed with Flight of the Navigator. I was thinking the alien was Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he does a Pee Wee impression in this, doesn't he?
He might.
Yeah, because he's doing like impressions of
'Cause
things
he
he's
does
seen on
so
TV.
many things.
Yeah, he does everything. He does all the things, and you just want it to stop.
No more, please. My heart.
And it's very Joe Dante. It's very Looney Tunes, but it feels at odds with the tone of the rest of the
heartfelt
movie.
tone.
Yeah, the more Spielberg-y tone of the rest of the movie.
It's funny, they almost acknowledge it because Ethan Hawke's character, his whole thing in that scene is he's let down.
Oh yeah, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
Like all this build up and then they get into space and they're let down by the aliens, but there probably would have been a way to do that without him being so annoying.
Yeah. And then it just kind of ends. The parents come home.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
send everyone
that's
home.
where I think the sloppy editing comes into play, where it's like, well, the movie's just over now, I guess. and that's the thing too, is like a kid would probably find the alien funnier. Some kids grew up with Jar Jar Binks and loved Jar Jar Binks.
I'm trying to remember how I reacted to this as a kid. I know I like this movie.
Yeah.
But I do think I lost interest when they got into space, even when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best part is easily them discovering, building, thinking of the ship.
Mm-hmm. And their first test run, that's
Yeah.
with the drive-in movie theater, like that whole scene with them flying around is great.
That's all amazing.
Yeah. And those kids, their chemistry is great.
Yes.
So.
Which makes sense. They're good actors. They went on to be good actors after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Except for the frozen yogurt kid.
Except for the frozen yogurt kid.
I don't know what happened to him.
He's still selling frozen yogurt.